want Michael to be my dad.
I want Michael to be my dad.
You know who I don't want to be my dad?
Joey?
My dad. All right. Dunkin' on dads. That's what we do here at A Whole New Pod.
Daddy Dunkin' Donuts.
Podcast all about Disney Channel original movies.
And dads.
Staying alive. Staying alive. I am your host, Lucas Melby.
And I'm your other host, Jacob Telejohn.
I wanted to maybe sing the DuckTales theme song, but
Ooh.
I didn't know the words well enough.
Ooh.
It's like, life is like a hurricane. And I wanted to get to like, it's a duck blur. Because holy fuck, it's been a duck blur. It's been a few weeks, 3 weeks, I believe, by my count, since we last recorded. But those weeks, the entire month of April, just gone in a flash.
Yeah.
Me and Jacob turned 27.
We did.
So that's our excuse we could have for not recording last week.
We were celebrating really
it was
crazily.
Our birthday weekend.
Yes.
And we both did nothing.
Accurate.
Yes, life is
like a box of chocolates.
Still crazy. We don't need to tell you that. You're living through your own versions of quarantine.
Unless
lockdown.
you're listening to this in 2022, where the coronavirus, COVID-19, has been eradicated.
Or listening to it in a country that managed it a lot better than the United States.
What's up, China or Korea or someplace?
Korea, New Zealand especially.
New Zealand.
But we're still in Minnesota where things are
heating up.
Moving towards our peak. We were supposed to peak in late April, and it certainly started spiking then, but it's just, the spike is continuing. And we were hypothesizing in our way, talking proudly about Minnesotans, but more recently, we're not very proud of some Minnesotans because the weather's gotten nicer. And
people are saying screw it, and they're going outside to enjoy the parks, enjoy their jogs.
Yeah, fuck it.
Fishing.
I'm tired of staying inside, so that means coronavirus isn't deadly.
Yeah, more or less.
And we've seen over the course of like a week or two, thousands
and more cases and deaths. And we were talking about earlier on, we were graded, our state was as an A for
social distancing.
Yep, and now we're a solid D.
Yep.
So the tables have turned.
Yeah.
Shame on you, Minnesota. Shame.
But I'm still doing it. Jacob, I think, is doing well.
Trying.
Is not wearing a mask, but I am wearing a mask this time.
I haven't coughed yet today, so I think we'll be okay.
That's not true.
I've cleared my throat a few times, but that's about it.
That's not coughing.
No.
If you had molecules inside your body, you weren't aspirating them into a way that'd be breathable.
I would never do that. I would never.
Jacob's I don't know if that has come across in this podcast or the stories we tell about Jacob, but he's just the model of cleanliness. Like he's a very well put together individual.
Yeah. I never get sick. Some might even say I'm immune to life.
I think, again, this is a situation where since we last recorded, I don't think I've actually seen you.
No, we don't.
Because we've had a couple of like Zoom get-togethers with friends, and I don't think Jacob participated in those.
I've gotten into one or two of them.
I can't remember, as we said, how much of a blur everything is. If we recorded before WrestleMania last year.
I don't even know.
Last year.
That's how long this has seemed.
Or after.
Yeah.
But something that didn't feel like a blur for me, at least, was the movie we watched today.
No.
A very interesting movie in premise alone, because this is, you wouldn't tell from its name, Jumping Ship, but this is the sequel to Horse Sense.
Yeah.
Which I had to check. I don't remember exact the episode number, but Horse Sense came out in 1999, and this came out in 2001. So about a 2-year break between the two movies. Of course, with Andrew Lawrence, I think, is the youngest, who played Tommy in Horse Sense in this movie.
Correct.
We saw in The Other Me.
Yes, as Dewey. Dewey.
2000, I think, and that was...
Here's to the year 2000.
I think that's still one of my higher-up favorites of DCOMs.
That was a funny one. There were so many good scenes.
Well, to segue from so many good scenes, maybe doesn't apply to Jumping Ship.
Yeah.
So Horse Sense happened because the Lawrence brothers were so big.
Yeah.
What is it? Brotherly Love, I think, was the show they were on together. This movie is special because it brings the third Lawrence brother in. And I think it's the middle one who was on Boy Meets World. But this movie did not need to exist. And in some ways exists in a way that undercuts what happens in Horse Sense.
Yeah, I don't know. They don't feel... Because, like, the character development doesn't seem there. There's not really any relation other than just it's two of the same actors in the same movie.
And the premise feels like something that would happen late season in a family sitcom of minor spoiler alert. Oh, let's go on a tropical vacation. Oh no, he got shipwrecked on a deserted island. And what? They were trying to manage a freaking horse ranch in the last movie?
Yeah, there's no relation really between, other than it's the same actors. That's like it. Because the character development we saw from Michael in the first movie is gone. It's not there.
And that's something I'll definitely get into, because that's something that I don't like very much.
No.
But enough preamble, let's get into it. And it's an interesting title shot we get, because we see Tommy, one of our main characters from Horse Sense, doing what he does best with his horse sense, riding a horse. But then we immediately see the title, Jumping Ship, covering him, and it's like, that's a juxtaposition of different things.
Yeah.
Immediately, something else we notice is that Tommy, he's looking a little more svelte.
Yes.
Losing some of that young kid baby fat. Looking okay.
Wow.
I don't know if Andrew was a really popular one as far as the tier lists of Lawrence brothers. My favorite in this is Joey Lawrence.
Joey
is my daddy.
He's a good actor. He's
the best of the
better
three.
actor.
I don't know
he's
if
a better actor.
He's a good actor.
He's a better actor.
Both Andrew and, who do we say, Matthew?
I think so.
Matthew, Mark,
Luke and John. Yeah.
One of those being the second one. Both of them are not really the best, at least in this.
No.
And we even were talking about some of the ways that Tommy acts in this reminds us of
Tui,
the clone.
Like he's just kind of like slow,
like
or
he just forgot what the other character was like, and that was the most recent one in his memory for a Disney property.
Honestly, because he's more kind of like, he's got more passion. I feel like in Horse Sense, he's more like outspoken, passionate.
I don't think he cries in this movie.
Oh, I don't know. He just seems kind of like lost, like dazed.
Well, yeah,
he's like in a daze.
Like, sure, a lot of it is new for him because he travels to a different country, gets shipwrecked and everything. But there's just also like a look in his eye of like he's seeing all these things for the first time and just awestruck, and wonderment in a way that is weird.
His body, his soul serves a purpose in this movie, but like his
body,
we'll get to that too. But like he doesn't really talk as much. I don't know. It's
and when
more,
he does, it's just like, oh, that was
weird. It's more so Joey Lawrence, Michael Lawrence,
and the next Lawrence.
Yeah, whatever their names are.
So beyond getting to the title card, we see a shot of Michael. He's on the phone and he is
in corn.
Yes, he is framed. Corn is in front of him, looking like he's in a giant field, and he's calling his auntie, a.k.a. Tommy's mom.
A.k.a. MILF Hunter 494.
And I don't know what they're talking about. He's saying something about, oh yeah, it's so great learning how to grow food on my own. But sometimes, hey, can't get the best help around here in California.
And then like a zoom out of
where he's at, and he's just in his backyard.
He's yelling at somebody who's doing it for him.
His rich parents' gardener, and it's just a small
little
dirt
patch.
Plot
it's
that
a little patch.
Just basically has corn right in the front row.
And that's
so it was kind of probably one of the more fun
setups,
shots, sequences, jokes, whatever you want to call it, in the entire movie was that little sight gag with him.
Not bad, not bad.
And then the mom or auntie hands the phone over to Tommy to allow Michael to talk to Tommy about going on a fishing trip to Australia.
Yeah.
Things are moving very quickly in a way like we talked about with something like Xenon 2 or the Jet Jackson movie, where these characters are established, so we can just put them into the situation that's going to take up the majority of the movie.
Don't need to build their characters up because you should have already seen the first one. Yeah.
But we'll see that basically they just forget what the character development.
Yeah.
We see a scene where Mike is chilling in his parents' pool. He's working on his tan so he gets a good base before he goes to Australia. And his dad comes up. His dad says, hey, this trip's going to be really expensive. You need to get yourself a job.
Yeah, he's like, it's going to be $4,000 more than you budgeted.
Use your education, because at some point he says he's 23, so we can assume probably graduated college. Though I think Michael maybe wouldn't have been a perfect 4-year graduate.
No, if you do remember in the first movie, he was all about the land trust. That's where his knowledge from his courses.
His land management has applied to his
so they established that yes, he was a a man of the book, of education, and he's carried that through, apparently, up until this point.
And as this was happening, where the dad's kind of berating him for not being fiscally responsible or at least getting a job, I was joking that, hey, well, it's not like I can send you to a ranch to work, because that was what the first movie was about, and that's a lot of what Michael is he's back to just being
shitty,
lazy, entitled, pleasure-seeking, and it just is ignoring stuff he learned in the first movie.
Yeah, the first movie, at the end of it, I liked him. You know, I thought he was like, okay, he learned.
And we're just back to square one again, where he isn't very likable, but he's still, I don't know, he's kind of likable.
You're kind of into him. That's what Lucas is trying to tell you. He likes... There's a few scenes without the shirt, and Lucas was getting hot and heavy. I think it's just that he is
a better actor than the other characters.
I agree.
That even if he's supposed to be unlikable, he feels well realized in a way, even if it is undercutting other 90-minute movie we watched where he got his character developed. Back in wherever the ranch was, I don't remember where.
Bumfuck, Idaho.
Tommy's having his own daddy issues of a kind because we see
neighbor.
We first thought was going to be his mom's boyfriend,
or a stepdad, or
but it's just a neighbor who is being really nice to him and his mom.
Yeah,
and he hands Tommy at some point
wrapped up gift,
a gift that we're going to say what is in there now because I'm probably going to forget to bring it up later in the movie.
It's a hand whittled picture frame
of Tommy and his dad, so it's like, oh, he's not so bad. But at this point in the movie, Tommy's like, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
Stay away from my mom. Nobody can replace my dad.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if his father issues were fully addressed in the other movie, but he kind of got over at least the treehouse aspect. We mentioned that in the Jenny Project of all movies of how Michael helped him build the treehouse, or just built the treehouse, and that made Tommy very mad, and he cried. But then he kind of accepted.
Really pissy.
And Michael more came into the role of a father figure for him in that movie. Again, kind of rolling back to square one for all of our characters. Tommy's a bit of a, my dad's dead, which...
Dad.
I can't speak to that because my dad is still around and still not Joey Lawrence. But we all have our crosses to bear.
We don't all have the daddies we want.
And then we just cut to some stock footage of Australia. We see the Sydney Opera House, and that's to tell us that, hey...
They went all the way to Sydney.
Trust us.
They went all the way to Australia.
Which I didn't actually look to see on Wikipedia, or sometimes they put
film
it in
locations.
The credits of where they filmed. My guess is probably Hawaii or something, because we've had Johnny Tsunami, Rip Girls. We've had a couple different movies filmed in Hawaii. They're rolling up in a limo. They pop
all
out. They're
fancy.
getting their picture taken by the limo driver, and immediately... they get accosted, somewhat secretly get robbed by a local Australian
There's a girl who's been sitting down in like a restaurant kind of checking him out. So I don't know if at first I was kind of wondering, like, is this like his new girlfriend or like who is this? Because they showed us her a couple times before she gets up. And then she's like approaching them.
If this was the typical DCOM, any girl that gets somewhat of a focus has to be a love interest of one of the characters in the movie. And
honestly.
she is very much not that.
No. And she approaches him, and like it's like, oh, well, like here he's gonna kiss his girlfriend, but no, she like bumps into him, and he looks at her.
Yeah, it's the most basic of pickpocket thing. I bump into the person, somehow I got their wallet without them noticing.
Yeah, and then she wanders
and he had
away.
A thick wallet.
Yeah,
so...
she opens it up as she walks away, and she's like in awe, like, oh, holy shit.
So he had already paid the limo driver.
He had tipped the limo driver, so he didn't
not
need money.
Really aware at all that he's lost his wallet.
No.
And they're by a harbor, and they are heading out to where the ships are. There's a bunch of nice-looking luxury
He makes
yachts.
a comment. He's like, yeah, we're going to go ride on the Tiffany. It's owned by the people, Tiffany, the jewelers.
Mm-hmm.
He says something like that.
So he sees a really nice one. We don't see what the name is on it, but he says, that's got to be it. So they just walk onto this ship.
And they start eating the food.
There's some, nice crystal glasses laid out, some trays of food. There's a butler, ship captain who comes out and says, "Can I help you?" And then he starts demanding soda.
Take our luggage downstairs,
Take
peasant.
our luggage. Give us sodas with the little umbrellas in
We
it.
love that shit. And he's like, sorry, sir, this is not your charter.
This is not the Tiffany? No. That rust bucket
That
piece
shit
of shit over there. That's the Tiffany.
Yeah.
So
they keep on walking down the ships, and they're saying hi to several people, and spoiler, we see them say hello to we see the lady that pickpocketed him
roll up to a guy who does say, "Good day, mate," to him. And he's a pirate captain.
Yes.
Because they start getting the lowdown. Hey, look at all this fucking money. He's got 2 platinum cards. Oh my gosh.
Rich.
We gotta kidnap and hold him for ransom.
Damn
Whoa,
straight.
okay, slow down.
Mm-hmm.
But at least we have some real conflict going on.
And he's making his way down to the ship, and then he sees it, and he's not too impressed.
No, it's I was trying to debate whether it naturally looked that way or if it was like a nice yacht that then they just like sprayed some like rust on the side, but it looked relatively worn as a boat.
It wasn't
It's not like
awful.
Jack Sparrow's boat
No.
he rolls into the beginning of Pirates of the Caribbean in.
I mean, it wasn't okay.
Yeah, it'd be an acceptable
It was just okay.
dinghy. Obviously, probably not for the money, which, yeah, how does that add up? So I wasn't even really clear on this trip, but Jacob must have heard some lines I didn't. So he says it's a fishing trip.
Yeah.
Maybe I read that in the description or something. I don't know. But really, they're taking this boat, doing some fishing on the way to go to
another island, another resort where they're going to meet his girlfriend or
everybody
whatever.
who goes to Australia just goes to islands off of Australia and not just go to a Pacific island or something.
Yeah.
It seems very weird for them to go to Australia.
Yeah.
But maybe they just wanted to have people with accents. But somebody who doesn't have an accent is the captain of Tiffany, the ship.
The third brother.
Who is...
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
We see is a hardworking, salt, worn down...
He's got that grease stain on his face, yes.
He's perfectly white smile, nice skin, nice hair, but he has one very clearly made up, sat in a chair for like 5 seconds where the crew worked on him. Oh, here's one smudge. Now we can say he's a really hardworking
Gotta
sea
make him
captain.
look legit.
But he has no accent. So he's just like, hey, yeah, this is Tiffany. And Mike is pissed because the boat is not to the standards he was expecting.
Correct.
But, he throws a stink, but they reluctantly stay because I guess, hey, well, at least we'll get to the resort. That's nicer. And then we get somewhat of a baffling moment that over time made more sense because I guess I missed some things. So Michael apparently has a satellite phone.
Yes, correct.
For the longest time, I thought it was just a regular cell phone.
He does
because
make
it
the
actually
comment.
looks like a regular cell phone.
It's not huge. It's not massive.
And I say, I've never used a satellite phone, but I've seen them in movies, including even in relatively modern movies, where satellite phones still look pretty sizable. This was just a flip cell phone,
but he's rich,
in the early 2000s.
He can take $4,000 trips. Well, 4,000 plus. He needed 4,000 more for the trip, and I don't know where the heck all that money went.
But he's talking into it with an earpiece. And we don't really see the cord at first either, so it seems like a wireless earpiece.
He's got Wi-Fi, Bluetooth.
I'm like, in 2001, what the fuck is going on? How does he have a signal here?
Yeah.
You got to travel. Do you need like a different SIM card? You got to call your provider. Like none of that would have existed back at this point. But I guess they hand waved it with a line I didn't hear where he had a satellite phone. And all of these calls he's making he's trying to land a job somewhere. And he's kind of quick talking, wheeling and dealing sort of thing. And it's to show that he's still a jerk. And again, he learned nothing in horse sense.
Correct. Because, he's still ordering the one dude around, the guy that runs the boat.
Oh, yeah, Jake.
He's like ordering him to do stuff and kind of bitching and moaning.
Jake, the captain, starts to order Mike to do some stuff because he wants his money.
Yeah.
Because I guess this was not a prepaid arrangement. He was just expecting Michael to
cash. Maybe that's why he had all that cash.
Michael finds out at this point that his wallet's missing. He can't find it. So then they exchange watches. Because Michael's got a nice watch.
This watch is worth more than this piece of shit boat you got.
So it's like a collateral situation.
Yeah. But at this point, he does realize who took it, too. He does know that it was that lady. He's like, I was able to pay the limo. And then after that, and then he realized.
Because he ain't stupid.
No.
He might be a dick, but he ain't stupid like that dumb fuck Tommy.
He knows all about land trusts. He's a smart man.
And then we get some stuff that you'd expect, especially in a family sitcom where they might go on a cruise or something. Just some boat goofiness.
Yeah.
He's fishing. Well, yeah, he gets seasick.
Yeah.
He tries fishing while talking on the phone. And it's a really drawn out scene where
his earbuds are getting caught in the reel.
So yeah, I guess that's what it was supposed to be, where it just seemed like he was struggling, I don't know,
he's trying to talk on the phone,
But it probably would have been the same situation because the end of it is Tommy says, just take the earpiece out. But wouldn't be able to manage a fishing pole because he's apparently has a giant fish that's pulling on it. So he's trying to manage that. It wouldn't have mattered if he had his phone. But the whole time, turning himself over, flipping over.
Yeah, and it was like a minute or two.
And the whole time,
like he's fumbling.
Tommy's just like, hey,
Michael.
It was just, what the fuck is going on? And it lasted so long. And again, it just gives this sort of childish feel and just weird feeling I got from Tommy, where he just didn't feel like he knew anything that was going on, and just he felt like more mature in the first movie, and that movie was, I don't know, at least
3 years ago
within the context of the film.
Moving past that.
Yeah, we see somewhere that the pirates have checked Michael's credit limit in the middle of the ocean.
Unlimited.
Yes, they have a laptop in the middle of the ocean, which apparently has Wi-Fi, which I don't even know if Wi-Fi existed in 2001. At least not in a way that pirates would have
in the middle of
the ocean in Australia.
It's a satellite computer?
Fuck it, yeah. Satellite, everything. This is where they figure out that he's got an unlimited credit limit, so that must mean he's really rich.
They're going to milk him for all it's worth.
Exactly. So now they're really all the way, let's do this with the ransom.
Yeah.
Then there's some more tension we get between Jake and Michael.
Yeah.
And also Jake and Tommy at first, because he can tell that Jake can tell that Michael is super rich, one percenter, hasn't worked a day in his life.
There's a lot of tension between the two.
Yeah, and Jake is associating Tommy with Michael then, and assumes that Tommy's some rich
kid. But they get to talking, and he kind of realizes that Tommy's kind of had it.
Tommy mentions a ranch, and he's like, "Oh,
rough.
Yeah, I see how it is. You probably own the ranch." And he's like, "No." Because if you remember at the end of Horse Sense, something that they do carry over is that they create the land trust at Michael's advisement. So their land is part of like a reserve.
They can live on it and get paid for it, but they don't own it.
So then Jake can tell that Tommy's a working man.
Because he has blisters on his hands.
Yep.
Yeah, so he was very worried about it. He's like, oh my God, what the hell happened to your hands?
So he warms up to him, and this is where we learn that Jake has daddy issues too.
And gold coins.
Because his dad was a treasure hunter.
Yeah.
And his mom and dad divorced at some point. And he says his dad isn't dead. But I kind of feel like... He said he's
around. He said he's around.
But I kind of feel like he actually is dead.
But he is. We do find that out later.
Okay, he does own up to that later on.
Later on, he says, yeah, my dad died 1.5 years ago.
Well, this was apparently not my best note-taking.
And I didn't take any notes. I got all the mentals today.
Oh, that's
We're
fine.
Good.
I was eating almond M&Ms, and I guess I was crunching over all of the important lines.
So, there was a scene a little bit earlier than that when he's getting him, like, the bandages, and Tommy's kind of looking around, and he finds, like, this artifact or whatever.
Yeah, he finds an ancient sextant, and then at some point later on, Jake shows off a gold coin.
Yeah, he's like, did you find anything else? He's like, yeah, we did. We were down there. And, sticking right up out of the boards, just perfect so we could get it, was this gold coin. And then he does like a weird trick, like, what's that behind your ear? And he plucks the gold coin from Tommy's ear.
I was definitely spacing out during this because I'm like, I don't give a fuck about any of this stuff right now.
He does the coin behind the ear trick, and then Tommy's like, whoa! And then Jake gives it to him, or he pretends to give it to him, but then he's like, no. Here you go. No.
Yeah, there's quickly...
here you go.
There's quickly a competition that exists between Jake and Michael as far as...
For Tommy's love and affection.
Tommy's love and viewing one of them as a brother or a father figure. And I think that's maybe why some of Tommy gets played up as just childlike innocence, is that he's then more pure and naive.
Yeah.
And it reads weird. In some ways, with all this tension going on, it does, I say later on, one of the themes of this movie does feel like homoeroticism. There's tension, and it's weird the fact that they are brothers in real life, but I'm sure there's lots of shirtless dudes in this. I'm sure there was little teenage girls at the time that were just losing their shit and being like, I want Joey to kiss Matthew and Matthew to kiss Andrew.
Yikes.
So while all this coin bullshit was going on, I'm like, okay, get back to the pirates.
But yeah, like I had kind of mentioned before, though, it doesn't really seem like Joey, whoever the youngest one is. I never he just doesn't seem like he's really in the movie that much. he's
he's
there.
present, but his presence is not always felt.
No, it's really just between the two older brothers, really.
Well, he's the object of their desire.
Yeah, honestly, because
don't objectify Andrew Lawrence.
Later on, we'll see that. We'll see the youngest one turns on his cousin. We'll see that.
And just this whole beginning just felt really rushed in a way because we know what's going to happen. They're going to get shipwrecked. They're going to jump ship. But it felt like this little bit of boat time they had, they really wanted to shove in like as much as they could. So like we got the seasickness. We're just getting a lot
fishing,
of weird music, goofy sound effects. So yeah, it's just really quick, and at the same time, it's just like, okay, just get on with it. I don't care about this. You could have just gotten to the island stuff quicker.
Yeah.
Tommy gets tired of Michael making so many calls for jobs, and Michael recognizes that, you know what? I am bad. I'm sucking. Like he did in the first movie.
Yes, so he
ignored Tommy on a trip that he had with Tommy in the last movie.
So here's that character development coming back into play that we had from the first one. He's like, okay, buddy. He's like,
oh yeah, I shouldn't be a dick.
One of 74 times he says buddy in the film. He says, okay, buddy, let me, we'll solve that. You can hold on to my phone, buddy? He gave him his phone and his headset.
Yeah,
and then he went down someplace. He left.
He basically had to not be looking at Tommy for a very brief period of time.
Yes, and then Tommy's about to go put the phone in the suitcase until the reel on the fishing line starts. There's a big old fish, and he takes it, and he gets immediately pulled to the front of the boat, and he's like gonna fall in, and his shirt where the phone in, it just bloop, like
he might as well have just tripped, randomly.
Like the heart of the ocean. Yes, the phone's gone. It's gone, and
it's like the end of Titanic where the old lady throws the jewel in. Tommy, it's been so long.
So it's gone. The phone's gone.
But
and
Michael does not know this yet.
No. Oh, he went to go grab the camera. Because then he comes back up to take a picture of them. And he's like, hey, buddy, smile. And he's looking all dewy-ish.
So
he's like,
it's a really, really nice moment. But yeah, Tommy's
he's
freaking out.
Yeah, he's freaking out inside. Doesn't smile for the photo. Looking off, dazed and confused.
So then the pirates strike at this point where they have their own yacht type, which is much nicer than the Tiffany. And then they jump off and drive up two of them in an inflatable speedboat. The whole crew is 3 total. It's 2 guys and the girl.
And Jake notices them rolling up behind him. He's like, oh, shit. He grabs his binoculars and they're scouting them out. And he's like, we got pirates. Well, he says it in an English accent because Jake, who is Australian, does not have the
we don't know if he's Australian, but it is very odd that...
Maybe he doesn't.
His dad, I guess, could be a treasure hunter who came to Australia and left his son. But I just don't think they didn't want him to come off as not the Lawrence brother. They wanted him to be as normal as they could because
Normie
appeals to the preteen girls of the time.
Preteens.
So I was gonna say this whole action scene was very unexciting, but there is one little burst of excitement where. Really, one pirate just kind of
he jumps on,
and then they just shove him off.
Yeah, he does a flying kick. He kicks the dude into the water, and then the girl. Well, so the guy's flailing around in the water. He's been kicked off, and then the girl who's driving the speedboat is behind them, pulling up. And Jake takes an anchor or I don't know. He takes
it's an anchor or a hook you would use to
harpoon gun.
It's not a harpoon.
I don't know. I don't know.
But
what
he swings it. And so that's kind of exciting. Yeah. He throws it and it punctures
rips
the
whole boat. But somehow it magically gets fixed.
That is, I was just thinking about that too.
It gets fixed later on. But yeah, because it rips all the shit. And you'd think it would.
And it's that was kind of cool, but it also been really fucking awesome if
he would have just hooked the woman. Yeah. And it's got her.
And Tommy and Michael fish out of water, literally. They're like, what the fuck? And then Jake turns to them and he says, I'm the captain now. And they're like, we already said you were the captain, Jake.
Does he make that a remark?
No.
Oh, I wish he did.
It's from Captain Phillips, the Tom Hanks movie. So none of the pirates, unfortunately, say, I'm the captain now. Because when I was reading the description, they say they get attacked by modern-day pirates, which then just makes me think of Captain Phillips.
What if he was attacked by old-school pirates?
That would have been better.
Here's Blackbeard.
That movie would have been a lot better if they brought in, ghost pirates or something.
That would have been fun. So, anyways, this is when he realizes, right, that they need to, get off the ship.
Jake quickly comes up with a plan that's a little weird because he says, hey, Mike and Tommy, get some life jackets. You're jumping off, and I'm going to go drive off.
You're jumping ship. I'm going to go scuttle.
He says, you're jumping ship. He smiles, winks at the camera. And so they comply, and we don't really see what happens to Jake, but they basically somehow Michael wakes up, so he must have gotten out at some point, where he then wakes up, and they're on an island.
On an island, he's freaking out. Where the hell is Tommy at?
Classic shot where the first thing he sees is a crab scuttling around on the beach.
Speaking of scuttle.
That is true. So he's running around, he finds Tommy, and then the tensions are kind of high between them because, I don't know, Tommy's pissed that this trip has ended up.
Shit.
And then Michael's like, well, this is fucking Jake's fault. He's a shitty captain. And Tommy says something along the lines of, hey, don't put blame on people. And then Michael says, who the fuck said that? That's dumb as hell. Jake say that? And then Tommy says, no, my dad
said it.
Oh my god, don't speak ill of his dead father ever. So Tommy's mad at Michael.
Oh boy.
But really, they're super chill about the whole situation.
Like they're stuck on an island and they might just never get off
They're not worried at all.
No.
And the first scene we see of them reacting on the island then is them just shirtless.
They're having fun. Yeah, they're like, hell yeah, we've been waiting for this our whole lives.
They're not actually successful, but even having the wherewithal to, this is how we can get fish, is spearfishing.
They figured that out in the first hour.
That I would not have expected from Michael.
No.
Maybe not Tommy, but at least could have been a scene where they discuss it. But no, just the first thing they do is spearfish.
In the first 20 minutes, they're on the island.
And then the next thing we see is later on that night is when they build the shelter.
And it's bad.
And yeah, it's bad, but also it is better than they have like ferns or palm leaves.
Before it starts to rain, it looks like it'd be okay. That'd be a nice little thing.
Yeah, but usually in these kinds of movies, is the shelter they build will be bad in a storm, but it also doesn't even look good to begin with.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a weird thing where, hey, you know what? I've seen Survivor. I have the Wilderness Survival Merit Badge from Boy Scouts. This is an okay looking shelter.
It's a good, better than a lean-to.
But then there's a storm that night.
And it's because they're on the north side of the island, which they later get notified by Jake.
Oh, that's another thing I missed out on.
They're on the wrong side of the island, where the winds come in.
So then we just get a super cut of some different island tropes.
Shenanigans.
Along with, we already mentioned
animals.
Spearfishing.
Emu, that evil emu.
Yep. We see Tommy smashing some coconuts to drink some coconut milk. But these are coconuts that just look like the ones you buy in a store, like that they're roughly the size of your hand.
Yeah.
And as somebody who's watched a number of seasons of Survivor, the coconuts they get on there are the big green ones that you have to cut open with a machete.
Yeah.
So a little bit of oversight and realism. But this island, we learn, just has everything.
Everything.
It's got coconuts, bananas,
big snakes,
giant snakes,
boars,
We see a pig. Boar later on.
Everything. It's got it all.
So as they're searching the forest, it
also has proof of inhabitants or of former inhabitants.
So basically the contrived way that they happen upon this old cave where some headhunters that have shrunken heads was living is they're trying to get some bananas and then they get spooked by an emu.
And that's not the first appearance or last by this emu. Or it is the first appearance, but it's not the last.
Sure. It's one of two.
Yes. And it's like evil. It just pops up its head and just freaks him out and he runs. And
I mean, I'd be scared of an emu.
Is that when he runs into the pit of mud?
No. But yeah, so they find this cave system. They go inside. Oh, this is kind of cool.
And then he almost dies.
Yeah.
So when he was falling to his death there, later in the movie, this is kind of a spoiler, but that's where that lady fell down into, and nothing happened to her.
No, she falls. The lady pirate eventually falls down this pit where they're treating like if he fell down it, he would die. She fell down basically head first, and
you could see her laying on the ground.
We don't know if she was okay. We don't ever see the pirates again at the end of the movie. So maybe they got the reward for catching the pirates, but maybe only two of them.
Oh my god!
Maybe the lady pirate.
We do see her laying on the ground. It's not like it was a pit to death. We see her laying.
We see her laying there, but she still could have broken her neck. You know what? I'm gonna say right here, she broke her neck and she died.
Wow!
And we just never.
He's a murderer.
Yep, that's
Really?
my Joey Lawrence for you.
There was a bounty on them. Really, there should have been one on Michael.
Pirates are subhumans.
Yeah.
They find this really nice cave system, which you would think they should use
better
this
for
as
shelter.
their shelter. But nope, it's too scary.
Yeah.
So they leave, and
Haunted.
as they're leaving, they start to hear sound that's like a cat. But I was saying, no, that's a human making that noise because it sounds so bad. And I thought it was going to make, well, I feel like I would have read this somewhere that, they encounter like a native tribe, which would have been really crazy.
Yeah.
How much cooler would this
That
movie have been
better.
if it had ghost pirates and,
Tribes
native
people.
tribe.
Actual headhunters.
But nope, it's just Joey, not Joey. Knowing their real names versus their character names.
Who knows?
It's Jake, the
middle
captain.
brother. We'll call him youngest, middle, and oldest.
I'm not going to keep up with that. But so Jake was apparently making these noises and he springs out and scares them. Ha ha. Jake sucks. That's better than the noises, Jake. So then he tells the cousins that he scuttled the boat. What does that mean? It means he sank the boat.
Yeah.
And they're like, that was fucking stupid.
And prior to him mentioning that he scuttled the boat, we see the pirates mention that, they probably scuttled the boat because they're driving and they're looking around and they just see all different parts of the boat in the water.
What does that mean? What does scuttled mean? Oh, well, don't worry. The DCOM writers knew that you, a child, were too dumb to know what scuttled means,
right.
so they explained.
They wrecked it, trashed it, junked her.
We should mention at some point the words day 3 pop up. So a little bit of time before they find Jake. So Jake's like, NBD, we'll just build a raft. Again, same thing that anybody deserted on an island ends up doing in any kind of fiction.
Yes.
And then Michael says, hey, don't even worry about that. That's fucking stupid. We'll use my phone.
Damn straight.
And this is where Tommy has to go, sorry, Michael. But this is such forced drama because Michael gets so pissed at Tommy for losing it. But A, would this work in the middle of nowhere? Apparently it would have. B,
satellite phone.
It was in his suitcase. Or that's where Tommy was supposed to put it back. And his suitcase was in the fucking ocean before it washed up on shore.
Maybe it was a airtight suitcase, so...
We saw it later on. It did not look like any kind of
carbon
bulletproof thing, whatever. It just looked like a cloth suitcase. So the phone probably would have been shot anyways, unless it was waterproof and salt-proof.
And it probably was,
You know what? Why? Actually, Michael just has telepathy. So it felt really forced, and then it's creating this drama between... Michael's mad at Jake for destroying the boat and thinking his plan's stupid. Tommy's mad at Michael for being mad at Tommy. So it's this crisscrossing. And this is where we get the dramatic moment where Tommy chooses Jake over Michael.
He's done with him.
As his guidance. He says, he's my daddy now. So Michael says, fuck all y'all.
Yeah.
I can do this on my own. In the best scene in the movie, where Michael is wandering around, seems a little bit delirious, and he falls into a gigantic mud pit.
Yes. And Lucas had kind of called out a sinking sand? Quicksand earlier, but it wasn't.
If it was quicksand, he would have just died.
Yeah, it was just
because he was
mud.
up to his neck basically immediately.
He just crawls right out, and then he does a weird staggering to the ocean.
Well, at first he gets scared by a lizard. That's by the
lizard
mud pit.
this time.
So he runs away, and again, I think he's just kind of delirious, and he's pissed that he's covered in mud. So he stumbles into the ocean
and
to wash himself off.
Passes out or something?
Well, before he passes out, he shows himself clean, but he says, "Why did you do this to me, Tommy?"
That's right. And we both laughed because it was
my favorite part of the movie.
It was a great moment.
But he collapses on the beach and wakes up to what is very quickly clear that it's a hallucination because a supermodel...
She probably was a real one at the time, too. I bet she was.
He says, "Oh, you're so-and-so, the supermodel. Oh, yes, I'm having a shoot here. Oh.
I was out for a jog.
Yeah, I was out for a jog.
You're so cute. Are there other boys like you here?
Yes,
so
there's
cute.
Other boys, but they're ugly as fuck. It's okay. You're all for me." And she says, "That's cool with me. Come to my yacht and we'll fuck all night."
And then we start hearing
we'll make
squealing.
Tommy and Jake watch.
Then we start hearing squealing because there's a pig.
Yep.
Eating on his face.
So the dream ends. They actually do kiss in the dream.
Yeah.
But they didn't go the extra step where he's kissing
He's kissing the pig. That would have been great.
It wouldn't make much sense.
That would have been funny.
It would have been, but the scene was already pretty funny.
Yeah.
So I don't want Michael to be forced.
He got a kiss from a supermodel out of this movie. I would have been in on that.
That's actually fair.
Here's the deal.
Law of equivalent exchange. You kiss the supermodel, you have to kiss a pig. Or Andrew Lawrence.
Oh, God. His brother's trying to give him mouth to mouth. That's what it was. Oh.
So Michael struggles through the night because there's another storm.
Yes, we see him again huddled underneath this thing, catching pneumonia.
He's just under like a leaf. That's all his shelter is.
It's the same shelter from before.
Oh, is it? Okay,
yeah,
that makes sense.
That was the same.
But Tommy and Jake are at Jake's shelter,
and he's like, "Oh, tits! This place is nice."
Which, quite honestly, doesn't actually look that much nicer than what they constructed, because they still constructed something as far as like an awning covering.
It looks like crap from the front, but then once you get in, it looks a little bit nicer.
But it's on a bunch of rocks, so it would suck to sleep there. And the actual structure of it doesn't look that much different from theirs. The only difference is the movie says it's better than theirs. So they're underneath it. It's raining. They're completely dry. They're eating like lobster.
Because they weren't on the north side of the island. That's what it was.
Bullshit.
That's what it was. He says it to him.
Not big enough for there to be like rain shadows.
Are you sure? I mean, he makes a remark. You weren't on the north side, but then there's also like all this stuff on that.
It's still raining where they are, though.
Yeah.
So
who knows how big the island is?
It's not like the north side. The rain is the wind is so strong it just turns the rain horizontal.
What's weird about it is like we see them before they jump off the ship. We see them kind of scouting the island. Like this is like where they want to go to, and it doesn't look like it's like this massive rainforest island. It just kind of looks like like you would imagine a desert island, like one little palm tree in the middle, and like just kind of like a little circle kind of deal.
Yeah, the first shots where they're showing them looking off of the shore, it's a little deceptive, but that happens with a lot of movies.
Yeah.
But the island is as big and has what it needs to have for what the movie needs it to
exactly. Bananas and...
So then at some point, I don't remember what day, maybe it pops up. I think it might only be day 4. Michael stumbles upon Jake and Tommy, who again, of course, are doing some shirtless spearfishing. But Michael somehow sees, again, an island with
crocodile?
Everything. A crocodile or alligator or whichever is in that part of the world. Whatever. But there's a crocodile.
Yes.
So he yells out, running down the hill or whatever, and Tommy's just like, oh, look, it's Michael.
At first, I was kind of thinking that the crocodile was just going to be like a log or something, like where he's freaking him out for like no good reason. Because at first, it kind of looked just like a black blob.
He's hallucinating again.
Yeah. But it does end up being an actual crocodile. And he's like, there's this whole thing where he's trying to pull Tommy out of the water where they just keep falling and just like tripping. He's like trying to drag him out. And then Jake's grabbing this giant ass boulder.
Well, he first tries to stab it with his spear.
Oh, the spear, yeah.
And it's like, that's not going to do anything.
No.
Then he throws a big rock
on its head.
And hits it. But the crocodile just swims away.
Yeah, what the heck.
And then they all reunite. And
it feels so good. Because they understood.
Michael's like, thank you for saving Tom.
Yeah, you saved our lives.
And
without
like,
you,
I couldn't have done it if you didn't tell me that crocodile was there. I was having too much homoerotic time with my real life brother, but just younger, faux brother in this movie that we were having such a time that I didn't see the crocodile coming. So they're reunited, and
it feels so good.
It lasts for a little bit, but not too long, that they're in good spirits together.
Yeah.
While some of this stuff has been happening, we've gotten a couple of cutaways to the pirates who have just been
looking for the island.
That they're island hopping and they can't find any trace of them, which is weird because earlier on they saw like the traces of the scuttled ship. Yeah. So you would think they'd be able to figure it out sooner. Who knows how?
Maybe there's just so many islands.
Big, but by the time they do find them, they're very close. So there's a little bit more downtime. And some of this stuff has been throughout the movie, but at this point in my notes, I'd have a summary of the themes that I really felt. Because there's 3 main characters, and each of them has some stuff going on, though I would say a lot of this is...
Parent issues. They all have parent issues.
Yes. Pretty half-baked. So Tommy already kind of had dad stuff in the first movie, not resolved. This time it's about his dad being replaced.
Yeah.
Michael, who I think is definitely the most complicated character.
He's lost everything he's learned.
He's got,
he wants to get better, though, I think.
He needs to grow up. He needs to start doing stuff for himself, get a job, start actually living in the real world. And also, there definitely really feels like he wants to have a brotherly connection, or he's trying to be the father figure the substitute father figure for Tommy. And then Jake is, his dad and Mom split up, so he got stuck with his dad. We'll see later on that actually he doesn't like his dad that much, and he didn't like being forced into this life. But really, a lot of the other stuff besides Michael. But again, the reason that some of those themes and things for him are so salient is because we already had a whole movie addressing them. So they kind of really were able to figure out what worked for his character, but they're just doing it again in this movie. And of course, the last really big theme I picked up on was homoeroticism. The love between...
Lucas mentioned that more than enough times in this movie. I bought into it too, and I just started to believe it.
Then we get a montage of some raft building, which quickly counts up to day 10. But before they really launch into the montage, they climb up to some big mountain hill, and Michael's like, this is really high up. Why are we going up here for wood? This is pretty dumb. And Jake says, well, if it lives up here, it's got to be really strong.
Yeah.
And I guess that makes sense if it's actually living, but if it's just dying up there, it might not be the best tree, but it's because they want it to be for the mass.
Yes,
really strong.
Yeah. And it's taken all that beating, that hard weather, hard winds,
strong wood to erect the mast.
Oh God, he's strong wood and erect.
Hey, I don't even know. It wasn't until the end of season 1 of Lost that they even launched off that raft.
They're doing it after day 3 or 4.
Raft. Yeah, by day 10, they got a nice looking raft. They're cheering, working on it, and then one day they see a plane fly over. Tommy and Mike get excited.
Mike gets really excited. He runs back to the camp.
But I feel like Tommy was encouraging him to do this too.
Probably. Until Michael's like out of hearing distance and Jake is like, it won't be able to see us. It's a commercial plane. It's 35,000 feet in the air. It won't see us. It won't see us. And he's like yelling. They're starting to run after Michael, and he's already like in the tent grabbing the gun. I don't know.
He just had a flare.
Yeah, the flare pop
actually
thing.
A flare gun.
And
which this seemed weird. Again, was this something I missed? Where did they establish that they
had a flare?
No, they had a flare. And it's the only one.
It probably just
It's just implied that all ships have one
flare. It probably just washed up on shore with all the other shit. Who knows?
So
but they didn't establish it.
Jake gets immediately like ridiculously pissed at Michael.
He's pissed.
That was a commercial plane. They would never have seen it or been able to come down to find us.
Also, when this happens, so yes, he does it off and nothing happens, and he's yelling at him. But we also see the pirates see this go off. The pirates see the flare.
And they seem to be very close to their air. Anyways.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh shit.
Whether they shot off the flare or not, if the pirates are just going around this island, they would have seen the raft on the fucking shore anyways.
Raft? Oh, the one they built, yeah.
Yes, the one that they built.
It wasn't all the way done yet, though, was it?
Yeah, but it was still a raft. If they're close to the shore and they see a structure, they're not going to be like, nothing to see here. There's an ancient tribe that used to live here. So Jake keeps going off on Michael and really lays into him about, you've just got everything handed to you. So you just think, what do you think? Do you think flares grow on trees in this family? And he says, what have you ever worked for? And Michael says, you know what? You're right. I haven't worked for anything. And I'm like, no, there was an entire movie.
Where you worked hard.
You
worked very hard. Yeah, that's true. That happened.
But nope, none of that matters for this movie.
No, out the window.
Michael isn't really... He's not, like, leaving, but he gets kind of separated from Jake and Tommy, who go off and go on a walk to kind of calm Jake
walkabout.
down. Jake says, yeah, sorry, I was getting mad. But then they see the pirates rolling up.
And they're starting, Tommy's yelling for him, like, hey, you people.
Yeah, Tommy is so fucking
He's so dumb. He's so dumb. And then they hear him, but they don't see him. They're like, oh, it must have just been a bird.
Pulls him down.
Must have just been a bird.
So then they know that the pirates are there, so they get on the raft and launch off.
All three of them were walking away from the boat at first. And then after they started screaming, then one of them had to go back to guard the boat.
You're talking about the pirates.
Yes, the pirates.
It very much seemed like you were talking about the
Lawrences. No. The pirates turn around and one of them has to guard the ship after they hear the yelling. I think
you're getting a little ahead of yourself.
I think that was here.
No, because they're just getting all on the raft right now. And then they cut them off with the boat.
This is when we see the Asian guy with the gun. They leave
Tommy behind and then they dive into the water.
That doesn't happen just yet, does it?
Yes, it literally happens. You're getting ahead of yourself.
No.
Yes, you are.
They were hiding from the pirates for a while. They just didn't give up on them and like
They're
right
on the
away.
raft and they're leaving, and the pirates come in a boat and cut them off.
Yes.
And then they jump in the water and yell at each other unintelligibly.
A little later, because they still have to find Michael. They still find Michael at this point.
No, Michael is on the raft with them. Michael just is showing up. He catches a fish, and they're running towards the raft. And Michael's like, fuck, I guess we're going.
Yeah.
And he says, what about the camp? And they say, no, there's pirates.
Yes, correct.
So you're wrong.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
That's $1 billion for Lucas. Again, still 0 for Jacob. So the pirates cut them off, and then they jump into the water, the boys, that is.
And this is where we've seen them before. Earlier in the movie, they were just doing like some deep dives, and they were finding tunnels and caves. So they're in that same area.
The most important thing I think here is where they're in the water for 30 seconds. And Michael and Jake are just constantly yelling over each other. And I couldn't tell anything of what they're saying.
It was all inaudible.
And I don't think it was purposeful. It's just that there was water around and Tommy's getting in there. And I guess it was them setting up a plan. But it's just like...
They had to jump off because their boat was on fire.
Yes, the
lady had shot a flare gun of her own at it.
Yep, at the mast.
And they're all freaking out. We gotta get off this fucking thing now.
And apparently their plan is they leave Tommy behind as bait, or just... They don't really set up that, like,
maybe he just can't hold his breath. Yeah.
Because they could have done that if they spent more time on certain parts of the movie where he says, yeah, I've lived in a landlocked state on a fucking ranch my whole life. Of course I can't swim.
Yeah.
But so Michael and Jake escape.
They deep dive. They deep dive and they find this cave, but one of the other pirates comes after them looking for them.
I don't even remember... They never really set up that they find this cave system that connects. It's one of the other pirates later on.
I think earlier you see two of them in the cave because they're holding like some animals. Aren't they holding like some lobster or like some crab in this cave earlier in the movie?
Well, that was a part of a montage of a lot of stuff happening while they were building a raft. They could have drawn more
I think it's the same cave.
To it.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Really, we only know how they survived because one of the pirates says, there's a bunch of caves around. You sure you didn't check them? Yeah. So it's like, okay, cool. Their great plan was just leave Tommy behind, and then they escape somehow.
They end up waiting in that same area, though. They say that same spot where they went down for over an hour. It's like maybe they drowned or they dead.
So this is the part you were so excited to say where one of the pirates is left behind with the boat because the other ones... Basically, Michael shows up on his own. He talks to Jake separately. I think this is where Jake is like, my dad, I didn't like him very much. Oh, wow, we're bonding because we all hate our dads. True. So Michael says, hey, yo, I got a plan. In the meantime, the pirates have Tommy on board of their ship, and they're making him mop.
Mop, yeah. You scallywag, you clean the... I don't know, they use some pirate words.
We're a little all over the place right now, but I just want to get this movie over with. Michael takes Jake's gold coin. He approaches the pirates for a one-on-one. He says, I will...
On the beach, yes. Michael's just standing on the beach, and they like all come up on him.
They're just on the shore for some reason, because the pirate's like, I think we should go try to find those other ones. Tommy's family has no money.
And they take Tommy at this point. Tommy's with them on the shore.
Yeah, so it really doesn't make a lot of sense why they would be in a situation where Michael could just walk up to them. But Michael just walks up to them and strikes a deal where he says, hey, you let Tommy go.
I've got 15 milli
He says, you think my family's going to pay anything for us? No,
they don't give a fuck about me. They wouldn't give a dime for my body, even if it was dead.
I have $15 million in gold coins, which is a really weird amount because he says, well, I found it on this island, but he's like, I know the current price of gold. I'm an appraiser. I know exactly. It's 15 to 20 million.
Yeah.
So, and they're convinced because he has one gold coin that he shows them.
And he takes it, the Asian Australian
He doesn't even bite it, coin. So some pirate he is.
True.
So the pirate says, you know what? All right, I believe you. We'll let Tommy go, but you're coming with us.
And then he's like, yeah, just keep walking down the beach, Tommy. Just keep walking down the beach.
So the main lead pirate and the lady pirate go off with Michael.
The
other pirate gets left behind with the boat, and they literally actually do just let Tommy go. So they're pirates of their word, at least.
Yeah, he said, I'm a man of a gentleman or something. My word is a gentleman.
I'm a man of a gentleman.
That's my word as a gentleman, I think he says. I think that's a quote.
He put the man in gentleman.
That's right.
So Tommy just is walking along the beach, and
he gets jumped by Jake.
He gets jumped by Jake.
And he's like, oh.
So Michael then leads the pirates into the caves where they were at earlier. And I guess had already set up some kind of string he could pull that then drops some shrunken heads on the pirates to scare them. And they get so scared that the lady, I am convinced, fell to her death.
That's what I thought, too.
Head first into a pit.
She should have been dead.
Whereas the lead pirate is able to climb back up and starts chasing after Michael. And actually, this whole time, he has a gun. And at one point, he pulls it on Michael when he's talking to him about the gold coin.
Yes.
So it's a little more heightened than we get in a lot of Disney Channel original movies.
True.
So the chase is on, and then while this whole thing is happening with the other two pirates, Tommy and Jake, they swim out, because the pirate who got left on the shore with the boat then went back out to the big boat.
We don't see him go out there. He's just there. He's just
the inflatable boat.
Smoking some weed. Who knows?
And what they do is they cut the motor engine, like a cord to
of
the motor.
The speedboat.
Like the fuel
At
line
first,
or whatever.
It looked like it was the main boat.
The inflatable speedboat, and then they cut it loose because it was tied up to the main yacht. Then they go up onto the yacht. Tommy says like something like,
to him.
"Hey, you missed the spot," and like hits him in the head with
the broom, or with the mop that he was mopping.
Him.
And then Jake comes swinging like Tarzan from the rafters. He comes, kicks him off or whatever.
Yeah. And then it's a situation where it's like, well, they didn't leave him to die because they left him with a motorboat that doesn't have a working motor.
Yeah.
So he isn't dead right now. He'll just probably eventually die.
Yeah, exactly.
Our heroes.
Yeah.
So that's one. Well, basically, we're down to just one pirate because the lady pirate, she dead. Her neck. And blonde pirate, he's fine. He's going to be
stuck in the middle of the ocean.
He can live for at least
couple days.
3 days without water.
I mean, those guys lived on that thing for like 14. They were on there for at least 11, 12, 13, 14 days.
Being stranded on an island was the least of their worries. Their daddy issues. That was the real
that would have killed them. Oh.
So then Michael,
he's running from Asian Australian.
He passes his mud pit.
He jumps over it. He does a big leap.
Yep. And tricks the pirate into falling into it.
Does a weird half-ass slide.
Yeah, the pirate was not fully committed. His stuff
like a baseball player would slide into like second base. This guy just like he drops and he slides into it. He doesn't fall into it. No, he just slides into it.
Okay, I know you want me to go into the mud pit. I will.
And he almost misses it.
But it's going to look very deliberate and not realistic at all.
He almost misses it. But yes, he's in the mud and his gun's in the mud.
So then Jake and I don't know if they see him at first, but Jake and Tommy are piloting the yacht, the pirate's yacht. And Jake's about to just leave Michael behind.
He is. He's like, fuck him, we'll come back.
Actually, no, they do. They see him running on the shore. And they know that the pirate has a gun, and his gun is drawn. And Jake's like, nah, he's fine.
Yeah, we'll come get him later.
Yeah, we'll come back.
We'll get help.
And Tommy's like,
no, he would not do this to us. He did not do this for us. He saved us from that crocodile.
In Tommy's one rational moment says, I don't think we should leave Michael to die by gunshot.
And then they start yelling at him, Everest, Everest.
Which, I don't know if I really made clear that when they were getting that really, really
big,
hard, strong mastwood, that it was on an area that...
They call this Everest because it was the peak of the island.
And it was such a weird scene because he's like, oh, it's so hard to get up here, and how are we going to get this down? And they're kind of arguing about who's going to bring down the wood, and then it's just, they do it, and it's just a montage.
Yes, because they were debating about jumping into the ocean. They were like, it's only like 100 feet. People have jumped higher.
And we had remarked that scene seemed really weird, and basically it was just in the movie.
A setup for this next scene.
Have it set up that he referred to this place as Everest, so then there's a place for the final confrontation with the pirate.
Yes.
So he runs up to Everest. The pirate's still after him, and then Michael just jumps, not jumping ship, jumping island, actually.
Yeah. Hundreds of feet.
Probably a dangerous drop.
There's rocks everywhere.
Yeah, drops into the water.
And we can see him swimming down by the rocks. He is alive.
And the pirate leaning over the edge is like, and he pulls out his gun and tries to shoot at him. But his gun just shoots streams of mud.
It just comes squirting out.
I'm no firearm engineer, but I'm pretty sure only a gun that would do that would be a water gun that's made to look like a real gun, where it's just shooting little driblets of mud out, and then he basically does the point your gun up in the air and yell like, ah! He's like, back up! So then they pick him up in the boat and
call for help.
They call into
Mayday, Mayday.
Some guy who had radioed to Jake earlier
in the movie.
And he says, hey, Butch, sorry, we've been missing for a while. Oh, I was worried, Jake. Hey, we got some fucking pirates. Send somebody to
Pirate
pick 'em up."
scum.
So that's how it's just like, hey, we didn't just leave the
That had
pirates
rewards on them. They did have rewards.
Yeah, well, it plays into the end of the movie, but it also is a situation where, are they that much better for leaving some people stranded on an island? Yes, they are, because they're the Lawrence brothers.
Damn straight.
So then they come into port, and the only other characters that hadn't already been on the island
Mom
were
and dad.
Dad
or
and
dad and
Auntie.
aunt.
So Tommy's mom and
Yes.
Michael's dad are there. Oh, that's
Without their significant
interesting.
others.
Yeah, we don't see Mark. Mark is the neighbor of
Yes.
Auntie and Tommy. And then Tommy just goes up and says, like, Mom, you can fuck Mark.
Yeah.
He's my new daddy. My third daddy in this movie was first my original dad, then Michael, then Jake, and now
Jake.
Mark can be my new dad.
Mark.
I want him to fuck my mom so hard.
Was there a threequel to this movie?
I don't believe there is.
Shit.
But at the same time, with the
It's never too late.
The naming convention of horse sense to jumping ship, it could be named Cadet Kelly and somehow be about the Lawrence brothers, and I wouldn't know it. But quite honestly, I think they've kind of painted themselves into a corner with what could they do in this.
Well, this is maybe getting a little, not really too far ahead, but they kind of talk about this charter.
Well, they have a nice dinner with everybody.
Yes.
Michael comes in and says he negotiated with the police, where the police,
the money.
there was going to be a reward on the pirates, but he basically says, hey, can we just have the pirates yacht?
Yeah.
And then he pulls out an embroidered hat that he had somehow gotten made that says Tiffany 2 on it.
Tiffany
and
2.
Says, we're going to name this boat Tiffany 2, and we can start a charter business and each own a part of it, so that's how he split the shares.
Yes.
And then,
without doing any work himself.
Then Michael's dad says, does that mean you're going to live in Australia? No, Dad, I still want, his dad had said, like, you should get a filing job at my law firm.
Yes,
he says,
correct.
I'll still take that filing job. Well, certainly
Tommy's not going to
live
there
because he's maybe 14.
He'd like to, but
So that just means Jake is going to keep doing what I guess he was already doing, but have to pay more of the money to other people. So it seems like a really raw deal for Jake, but great for Michael and Tommy. But sure, that's how it ends, is we're all going to join in on Tiffany 2.
Yeah.
Lay a rail on Tiffany 2. And then we just get one final shot of the yacht.
And burgers.
And that's it. That's the end
of the movie.
And now that we're getting into final thoughts and judgments, I'll say that this is not a typical Disney Channel original movie.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it's not a typical sequel of anything, especially something like Horse Sense, that you would expect Horse Sense would still be something else is happening to the ranch, or it's all in the city with Tommy and him. So we're doing a sequel to Horse Sense. Okay, cool. We're bringing in the third Lawrence brother. Okay, my dick is erect.
Yeah.
And then
more. Tell me more.
They're going to be stranded on a deserted island.
Yeah.
Are they going to be shirtless? Yes. Okay, actually, now this is making complete business.
This is money. We're basically printing it. We're printing it. We are the United States Mint.
In that sense, I give it credit that it blazed its own trail there, but it just, any kind of growth or development for these characters is what was already in Horse Sense 1. They just rolled it back. So then we just get, like, Jake put in to have more, I hate my dad too, and now I hate Michael. I'm going to do with Jake.
Yeah.
Where it's just, I don't know.
He did get his gold coin back too, by the way. Wanted to mention that.
And Michael got his watch back, too. Yeah. If you're keeping score.
Gotta.
But, yeah, I just feel like, I don't know. It was okay, but if they had more time on the island where they were really struggling and there was more of that played up and the pirates were less bland.
Yeah, they were just like normal, like, people. Make them look scurvy, or something. Make them look more scary.
Yeah, for all these people that live their life on the sea in this movie, they all look
healthy.
Very well moisturized.
Yeah.
I'd look more like a pirate compared to some of them. So, what's your final take on Horse Sense 2, jumping ship?
Yeah, no, it was like we had said, like all the stuff, the character development from 1 was gone. It was just a completely unrelated movie. It just happened to have the same characters. That's all it was. We're just like, here's an idea. Like you said, people like the Lawrence brothers. We'll make this movie. And that's I don't know. That's all. It wasn't a bad movie.
It's good that there's character development and growth. But it
was the same stuff we've already seen.
Like Xenon.
It was just repackaged.
I don't know if there was a lot of growth for Xenon in Xenon 2. It was kind of just, here's these characters. Xenon gets into another bunch of antics.
Cetus Lapidus moment, yeah.
And learns some stuff.
Yeah.
This, we could have had it focus more on Jake. He's a new character. We could have had him still have his struggles, and then they can like help him through using the lens of their own experience.
Yeah, like I was gonna
all at once.
I thought he'd maybe like be invited back to live like on the ranch or something, but no, they're just gonna leave him there to do the boat stuff.
Yeah. Having some of that stuff still in there, the retread, takes up time away from things that could have been more fun and interesting.
They definitely could have set up for a third if they wanted to, I think.
Well, they didn't need to do any setup because there was no setup for this movie. If they wanted to do a third one, they could.
That's true.
And it could start out with fucking Tiffany 2 blowing up, and then they go on a ski trip.
And they have to find gold coins.
Because I relate it too much to the previous movie.
Absolutely. They could have made a crossover with Johnny Tsunami. A crossover would have been fun.
They could go into space.
Let's see now.
They could go to Halloween. They could look underneath the bed.
Oh, God. They could have found Santa's little snowmaker.
But at the same time, Horse Sense is such a grounded DCOM. People mistake it as being the one that the kid is able to talk to horses. None of that happened.
No.
So having it have a sequel like this where it is sort of over the top was interesting, but still it was a little too kind of normal. Whereas if this was a sequel to Ready to Run with those characters
most Disney movies
more fun, I think.
Most Disney movies are just more, they're all more, I don't know, magical. They have some kind of, they're not believable. This is something like has happened to people, you know. People get taken by pirates. People end up on islands, stranded. Maybe not all in that order. You
saying that reminds me of something that is not fully related, but it will be our final thoughts for this movie of something that stuck with me for years. Something I heard a girl say in elementary school.
Yeah.
When we were talking about our favorite movies. Hers, she had said, my favorite movie was Coach Carter, starring Samuel L. Jackson as a basketball coach. And her justification, again, as an elementary school, was because it could really happen.
Wow.
And to my understanding, I believe Coach Carter is actually based on a true story. So it did happen. But also, the metric of whether a movie is good or not is it could happen is a terrible threshold. So Horse Sense
could happen.
It could have happened. So it's fucking, why didn't this be nominated for Best
It could
Picture?
happen.
Jumping Ship probably still could have happened. So I
That's
think
a good
moving
movie.
forward, our podcast will be very short. We'll get to Halloween Town too.
It couldn't happen. That's a bad.
Mythbusters checked this one, and it was a big X on this.
Not happening. Oh, sorry, Grandma. Marty.
I feel like after watching the slew of Halloween Town movies, we'll get over the years that Marnie should be apologizing to me and not the other way around. All right, so that was our long-winded, meandering thoughts on Horse Sense 2, Electric Boogaloo, Jumping Ship.
Jumping Ship, taking a shit.
So we are A Whole New Pod. You can follow us on Twitter at A Whole New Pod, all one word. You can follow Jacob on Twitter.
At Jacob_Telejohn, JACOB_TELLIJOHN.
Where he's blazing an exciting new trail of posting tweets about daily fantasy sports that you're even less likely to know or care about.
Korean baseball.
Tell me about those Wyverns.
It's a great team.
So I've heard. Tell me about the Junglers in League of Legends.
Damn straight. I'm all about that LOL.
You can subscribe to us, rate us, review us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play,
YouTube,
Spotify. Yes, comment. Subscribe, like.
Go like our.
That people usually say those things are.
Go like our Cody
YouTube,
video.
That is, we did clearly say that on YouTube. A Whole New Pod, and yes, the way I view it is to make the tags honest. That I'm able to still tag the 13th.
Oh, you have to at least mention it.
We just keep talking about the 13th year. So
true.
Cody sucks. The 13th year. Yada yada yada. Everybody dislikes our video.
21 likes, 30 dislikes. Go like it. Let's make that shit positive.
It still baffles the two of us that of all the movies we've covered so far, a lot of them being ones that people really hold up as like, yeah, this was the DCOM of my childhood.
But that's the one that has the most views.
13th year.
People are most critical about.
Really stuck with people the most.
I don't get it.
Something about a boy having a tail like that.
Oh.
That thick mermaid tail. And you can write us about your own DCOM boy preferences and how thick you like their tails to be at a whole new pod.
Or how many brothers is too many.
And we won't make any promises. I think we can at least commit to once every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We can adjust our timetables for COVID, whether it actually is a fair excuse for us to not record. But you know what? I wasn't feeling like earlier this week, knowing that this was going to be our weekend to record, I was like, I don't feel like doing anything ever at all. But today I actually felt pretty good.
Yeah.
By the end of this podcast, though, I don't know. Wearing a mask and doing all this talking and everything, I'm a little like,
tired,
a little loopy. What day is it?
Need a snooze.
What DCOM was this? Was this Horror Sense 2? I don't even understand. So we'll just take it as times come along because, hey, we're all going through tough times in different ways or another.
Just keep yourself safe.
Really what I'm talking about is me having to see Jacob.
Oh.
The recovery period where it's like, oh my God.
It takes 3 fucking
PTSD,
weeks.
I just think about it in the week leading up and every day feels like a Monday. But no, this is good. It's nice for us to still be able to get together.
Yeah.
Even if jumping ship was what was involved.
We got some goodies coming up. Like we said, Halloween Town, Calabar's Revenge is 2 away. 2 away. So in about a month and a half, you guys will get that.
Do you think that movie will just be focused on how Marnie thinks her mom's a bitch?
Probably.
Just like Halloween Town 1?
More than likely. Our next one is, what'd you say?
The Poof Point.
Poof Point.
With the star of The Smart Guy and Hounded, which is the Poof Point. Great name for podcasts because saying all those P's is just great.
Poof Point.
Poof Point.
Poof Point. Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah. City of Townsville.
Mayor, whatever his name is, with that long-legged lady that you never saw her face.
That's the way I like it.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Not complaining.
All right, bye. No final words this week. This is over now.
It started raining avocados from my avocado tree.
Was this man barking up the wrong tree?
I told him to get the hell out of my tree. He says, I'm going to pick your avocados, old man. What are you going to do about it?
What would prompt you to do something so stupid, sir?
Guacamole. Next, Judge Judy.